AI is about to be in every tool a developer touches, from appraisals, design, finance, marketing, and project management. The people who win the AI integration over the next 18 months aren't the ones with access to AI. The people who win are the ones who know exactly how to talk to it. And I'm going to give you the 5 prompts that every developer should have saved, ready to paste from today. Steal them, run them, sharpen them, make them yours. But before that, my name is Toby, and over the last 15 years, I've delivered over 15 billion of real estate projects worldwide. And now I spend my time helping developers automate the work that used to chew up their week. So let's get into it. So why prompting context matters first. So the difference between generic AI answers and an answer that you can actually use isn't a fancy AI setting or model. It's the prompt itself. You can run the same settings on the same model with 2 different prompts, and the difference in the prompts will determine if you get AI slop or give you a genuinely valuable output. Alongside prompts, context is the multiplier for getting great outputs. Because AI without context is like a Cambridge graduate who's never actually seen a project. AI with context is your most experienced advisor on 24/7 speed dial. And most developers don't have a massive prompting problem. They've got a context problem because they end up retyping variations of the same 50 questions every year. And the fix is to build a library of proven, reusable mega prompts once and then use them forever. Your prompt library becomes as personal to you as your spreadsheet templates or your brief documents. It's intellectual property. And on screen now, you can see a review of my prompt library. And what I've done is broken them down into individual phases of development. And then within each of these documents, I've got the most used and efficient prompts that I've come across over the last 3 years since I started using AI. And if you want access to my full and complete library free, the link is in the description. No gatekeeping here. It's a great place for you to start off and tweak and personalize and start making your own library. And if you do feel yourself compelled to respond in some way, then please feel free to like and subscribe as your form of gratitude. Okay, so our first prompt is all about project context. It loads any AI with full context on a specific project. Now, this is what you should have to hand any time you do your AI conversation. And as you can see from my screen, it's just a very high level overview about the specifics of your scheme, where it is, what size it is, what the capital stack is, what the funding strategy is, and the exit strategy is. And so what this means is that every single prompt you put through it is going to be really specific to your project and really specific to the outcomes that you are trying to achieve. And once you've put this document together for one of your projects, and you can even create this just by having a back and forth with AI, all you need to do is ask it to refer to this document when you're talking about your project, or even just talk about your project, this one, Albion Wolf, and it will understand what it is you're referring to from there on out. This way, AI stops being a search engine and starts being a co-director who knows exactly what your project needs to achieve. Now, the next prompt we have is the 60-second appraisal. And again, I'm just going to show you the very quick output because rather than walking you through all of the prompts, you've got access to all of them for free in the link description below. So you can go and grab those. And you can even put these in alongside me as we go through this video. What this one does is it turns any kind of marketing pack or any address or any information on a website you can find about a potential development. And now you've got your site context. It will give you a very brief overview in terms of a 60-second appraisal. So it will show you the planning context. It will give you some comparable schemes because it knows where your project is in terms of the prices and the revenues that you could look to achieve. And then it will also provide you the top 5 risks with that potential individual development. And it will give you a clear verdict at the top in whether you should proceed with the opportunity or not. And what this does is it means that you can very quickly appraise and review and get a brief understanding on tens of sites per day rather than 1 or 2 sites a week. So the speed at which you can now work is being significantly increased with these prompts. Our third prompt is one of the most important, and it's all about risk. One of the biggest elements in real estate in general is risk management, risk identification, and risk mitigation. Now, what this prompt will allow us to do is it will stress test your scheme across 30 different deal breakers that could potentially come up. So, ground investigations, market cost program, exit strategy. And then what it does is it identifies and goes through your specific project, and it identifies the risks that are most likely to occur and also how you can mitigate them. So you can see in the output here for this particular project, the affordable housing that's required on the site is usually high for this area. And what this will mean is that your overall contribution will need to increase, and then potentially your revenues will lower. Also, the ground conditions are high risk, and the way to mitigate them is to get a site investigation. It just shows you very quickly how much of an impact these risks could have on your development. This fourth prompt is my personal favorite and was the first one that I actually ever started with. And what it does is it's a weekly update paper. So as you know, project tasks and project risks and bottlenecks are always looking to be updated, reported, and managed. And so what this does, it just allows you to very quickly brain dump into whatever AI that you're using, all of the updates that come to mind for the week, key tasks, key design items that have moved, any changes to the fundamental metrics, and it just puts them into an extremely quick and easy to digest one page. Now, I find this really helpful for two things. One, just keeping a track and refreshing yourself at the end of every week, and then at the start of every week on just where things are and what needs to be done. But also, if anyone ever needs to get a quick update, you're not there scrounging around for a presentation. You can just quickly send them one of these documents, which you've already made plenty of. And I would actually start here just with your current project. What are the weekly updates that you want to be putting together? And so you can start foldering those away and start getting a really good sort of knowledge base of information on what the week by week updates are. Now, this one's a really powerful tool, especially with tools like Claude at the moment, which are really honing in their individual tools' abilities to act in sort of lawyer language and go through contracts and really identify risks. What it does is whenever you've got a specific negotiation, whether it's a procurement contract or a tender negotiation or a land deal or a final negotiation with the vendor and purchaser, this will really enable you to understand where the key risk lies. And it's almost like a strategy sheet. This prompt gives you a very quick walkthrough on all the areas that you are going to want to push back on, that you're going to want to raise, and you're going to really want to make sure that you've understood and achieved throughout your entire negotiation process for your specific project. So you can see some of the stuff it's recommending here. Is it saying, why should we drop the 900K price? And then your line in response is you drop the 900K price because yada, yada, and the ground conditions aren't quite matching what we have in our items. So it gives you where these risks are, what can enable you to sort of pull down prices as and where you need them, where you can negotiate better, and then vice versa, what the other side of the table are most likely going to be saying. So you're completely prepared when you have to start trying to make deal improvements. So the true power in these prompts is they increase the leverage you have. They'll make you 5 times more quicker and more efficient on the work tasks that you're doing. AI is the tool and your judgment and expertise is the moat. The developers building libraries like this now will operate at a pace that the rest of the industry can't catch in 12 months. And if you like these 5 prompts, they're completely available for free in the link in the description. The full guide has 15 prompts that go deeper. Build cost sense checks, capital structure, lender term sheets, the whole lot. If you want to access resources similar to the prompts that I've showed today, I'll leave a free download link in the description. And where you sit on the AI spectrum determines what your next move is. And I've built something to help you figure that out. There are 3 resources in the description below. One is the Development Appraisal Suite. If you want to see what the advanced end of this spectrum looks like in practice, we've got a feasibility model that automates and runs all scenarios completely automatically. It formats lender-ready outputs and gives you the answers the moment that you provide your inputs. The second is a booking link, and if you're ready to become an AI power user or you want a shortcut to the process in building your own workflows, then you can book a call with us and we'll map out exactly what your automations would look like for the specific processes that you require them for. And the third is a short free questionnaire that will give you the detailed results on where on the AI automation readiness spectrum you are and how to start moving towards the end of competence. If this was useful, subscribe, as we release weekly videos going into a deep dive on all things AI, property, real estate development and construction.